Hariyo. Now, house arrest உங்களுக்கு?
At least now Progress Swamiji, she's downstairs and I'm upstairs.
Okay.
She's Hariyo Swamiji.
Hariyo. Atira saree ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಡ್ಕುವ. You put on saree. I never seen her with saree.
No, it's a t-shirt.
But your picture shows.
The picture is the one with saree. That was for Chitranti's Trivadra program.
I see. Okay, start now. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha, Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Manojavam Marudhatulya Begam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutamukhyam Sri Ramadutam Sirasa Namami Santoshini Jaganmata Mama Saubhagya Vriddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Tvam Prasanna Varada Bhava Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha-jnanaika-murtaye Nirmalaya Prashandaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Satchitananda-rupaya Vishwotpattyadi-hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha Nilambujasyamala Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charu Chapam Namami Namam Raghuvam Shanatham. I saw you yesterday online. No jet lag?
No, I came last week only.
Oh, okay.
But Tuesday I was in Jersey City.
Adau Devaki Devi Garbhajananam Gopi Grihe Vardhanam Maya Putana Jivita Pagaranam Govardhanodharanam Kamsachedana Kauravadi Ananam कुन्तीसुतापालनम् एतद् भागवतं पुराणकथितं श्रीकृष्णलीलामृतम्. This is only Dashamaskanda. जन्माद्यस्य यदोन्वयादितरतश्चार्तेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यदा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मप्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तुशिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परेणीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभित्तक्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदु तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमोन्धं संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. So far we have seen Vritrasura fighting with Indra. Now Indra is equipped with the thunderbolt made up of the bones of Datiji Rishi. We are on the 11th chapter, 6th skanda. And Vritrasura was urging Devendra to kill him. So why are you hesitating? You have this weapon made of the Datiji Rishi's bones, powered with Bhagavan Vishnu's tejas. Why are you hesitating? Because I want you to kill me so that I can be free from this body. I am longing to be with my Lord. Ajata paksha iva madaram khagaha stanyam yada vatsatara Shudarthaha priyam priyeva vishidam vishanna manoravindaksha didrikshate swam. How little birds eagerly await their mother's return, as hungry calves long for their mother's udder, and a faithful wife anxiously awaits the return of her long-separated husband. So does my mind, O lotus-eyed one, yearn for and wait in eager expectation of thy blessed vision. So this kind of words, when this Indra heard, he was surprised. So he is We'll ask later. Now, let us go to Dvadasha Adhyaya. Rishiruvacha. Evam jihasurnapa dehabhajau mrityum varam vijayan manyamanaha Sulam pragrhyabhyapatat surendram yatha mahapurusham kaudabhotsu. O king, resolved in this way to embrace death in battlefield, rather than to court victory as the more meritorious course, Vritrasura rushed to Indra with his trident in hand. Tato yugandaki katora jihva avidya shulam tarasa suredraha chitva mahendraya vinatya viro hatosi pape dirusha jagatha. That heroic Vritrasura whirled that powerful trident, whose tip was brilliant as the fire of cosmic dissolution, and threw it at Indra, saying that, "Death to you, O felon." Ka apatat tat vijalat graholka vinnirishya vijalat graholka vannirishya dusprechya bajada viklavaha vajrena vajri shataparvanachide bhujamcha tasyo ragaraja bhogam. Then what happened? Indra did not, unshaken by the sight of that weapon approaching him, Indra cut it with his thunderbolt, along with Vritrasura's hand also. But even then, Chinnekabahu parigeda vritraha samrabda asatya grihida vajram anau tadadendra matamarebam vajram jahastan nyabatan makonaha. Even though bereft of his one hand, Vritrasura charged Indra again with another iron club. With the remaining hand, struck at the cheek of Indra and at the elephant vehicle Bhairavata. Hit in this way, what happened? The thunderbolt fell down from the hand of Indra. Now it is a shameful thing for a warrior. Apujayanstat purahuta sankatam niricha hahedi vichukrushur brisham indrona vajram jagrihe vilanjitachutam suhastadari sannidhau punaha. Now all the celestial being watching this, asuras, siddhas, gandharvas, they appreciated first the Vritrasura's skill, even though one hand only he had, but he accomplished something. But at the same time they were alarmed. What will happen to Indra now? Now ashamed of himself, Indrora Vajram Jagrihe Vilanjidachudam Sahastad Arisannidhau Punaha Tamaha Vrtro Hara Adavajro Jahi Sashatrumna Vishadagalaha. So Indra was hesitant to pick up the Vajra again. Then looking at Indra, Vrtrasura says, "Oh Indra, take up your thunderbolt to kill me. This is not the time to regret. Go ahead, pick up." See, he is a warrior. He will not fight with a person who doesn't have a weapon. See. Then he says, Yutsadam kutrachita tadayinam jayassadekatra vai paratmaram vinegamutpattile stidishwaram sarvatyamadhyam purusham sanatanam. Except Bhagavan, nobody who is wielding any weapon in the battlefield can expect victory. Is either defeat or victory. But nobody can say, I will not get defeated. So these are here. Except Bhagavan. Everybody else who are come in the battlefield, they can expect defeat. Now he gives an advice. Beautiful Vedanta is here. Loka sapala yasye me swasanti vivashavashe dvichaiva shishavaddha sakalaiha karanam. The ultimate cause of the success and failure of human effort is the Lord manifested as time. Sometime your time is good, you will be successful. Sometime your time is bad, whatever you do, nothing happens. So that is time also Bhagavan. That's what he says. So it is also Bhagavan's glory, time itself. So he gives an example. It is something like a bird caught up in the fowler's net. What freedom it has got? It can flutter and move about, but within the net only, isn't it? Ojasaho balam pranam amrutam mrityumevacha tamatnyaya jano hedumatmanam manyate jadam. The ignorant world, without knowing the Lord functioning as time, on whom our power of body, mind, intellect depend, senses depend, who manifest as energy, life, death, and immortality, attribute success and failure to themselves, identifying with the physical body. These are all Vedantic thoughts, you see. Identifying with the physical body, we attribute our success to ourselves, failure also to ourselves. Instead of not knowing that it is Bhagavan who is running the show. I say, O Indra, yatha daruvayi nari yatha mandramayo mrga evam bhutani bhavan isatantrani vidhi bho. Indra, know that just like a wooden doll figuring a woman or a mechanically worked animal, all creatures in this world are subject to the control of the Lord. Puppet show. That this makes you feel miserable, isn't it? We have no freedom, right? Freedom is also limited, okay? Shankaracharya gives an example. Suppose a cow is tied to a rope. That cow can move around within what? The length of the rope. That's all. Same way, our freedom is also like that. Oh, look at this. Vritrasura is well learned. Purusha prakriti vyaktamatma bhudendriyasya shaknuvandasya sargado navina yadanugrahad. Neither prakriti nor purusha nor the great element mahattattva nor ahankara nor bhutas elements nor indriya senses, not one of them can project this universe without His grace and blessings. That is the case. Avidyanevam atmanam manyate nishamishwaram bhudai srijati bhudani grisate tani vai swayam. Man ignorant of this consider his little self as a master of himself. He is in truth only an instrument in the hands of the Lord. He makes him an instrument for procreating other beings and for destroying others too. Both. Creation and destruction, both. Bhagavan is responsible. Indirectly, that's what it is. Ayushri kirtir aishwaryam ashisha purushasya bhavandehe hidat kale yatha nityo viparyaya. If, therefore, the time is favorable, man is blessed with longevity, prosperity, fame, plenty, and the goodwill of all. And when time is unfavorable, the opposite is the case, however much he may strive against it. Therefore, what is the conclusion? That's very important. Tasmat akirtiyasha yashasorjayapa jayayorapi samasya sugadukkabhyam mrityu jividayos tatha. That is very important. Therefore, one should remain unperturbed in all situations, whether in fame or in disrepute, in success or in failure, in life or in death. Sukha-dukkhe same kritva lapa-lapo jaya-jayau tato yuddhaya jasva naivam papam-apsasi. Bhagavan said that already. Our Vritrasura is quoting that. Now, 16th verse. Pashyamam nirjidam shakra vriknayudha bhujam bhute khadamanam yada shakti tata prana jihishvaya. O Indra, look at me, who though defeated and deprived of an arm, of weapon, I am still standing facing you for battle, determined to do whatever I can to destroy you. Pranaglahoyam samara ishvaksho vahanasanaha atranat nyayate mushya jayo mushya parajaya. This battle is a gamble. in which the stakes are the lives of people. The arrows, the dice, and the vehicle, the fighters, game board. No one knows who will be victorious or who will be defeated. Now Sri Shuka watch. Indro vrittavacha shrutva gataligam Grihita vajraprahamsas tamaha gatavismayaha. Indra heard these words of Indra, free from any touch of hypocrisy. Now picking up the thunderbolt and without being too much surprised at Putra's attitude, he said smilingly, now Indra says, Aho dhanava siddhosi yasyate matiridrishi bhaktaha sarvatmanatmanam suhridam jagadishwaram. O Dhanava, whoever has the outlook you have described have certainly attained the great spiritual eminence. What a good fortune it is that you have taken wholehearted refuge at the feet of the Lord. Indra what he means that this much devotion I also don't have. You have that much devotion. Because Indra will think of Bhagavan only when he is in trouble. Not otherwise. Otherwise party. So here, he says, you have definitely transcended Dhavan Atishin Mayam Vai Vaishnavim Janamohinim Yat Vihaya Suram Bhavam Mahapurushadam Gataha. You have indeed transcended the world deluding Yogamaya of the Lord, for you have discarded your innate nature and attained to the state of an exalted sage. Kalvidam Mahadascharyam Yat Raja Pragadestava Vasudeve Bhagavati Sattvatmani Dridamatihi. It is indeed most surprising that a person like you, who is endowed with Rajoguna, has developed firm and settled devotion for the worshipful Vasudeva, who is an embodiment of Sattva. Yasya bhaktir bhagavati harau nishreyase sware vikridato mridam bodhau kim kshudrei khatagodagaihi. What use is there for the dirty water of muddy pit for one who sports in the limitless ocean of bliss? Now, having said that, Sri Sukavacha iti bruvāṇāmanyonyam dharma jitnyāsaya nripa yuyudhāte mahavīryāt indravritro yudhātmati. Thus exchanging thoughts on spiritual matters, the warrior leaders Vritra and Indra, they fought on. Now what happened next? Avidya pariham paritham vrtra karnaya samarindamaha indraya prahino koram vamahaste namarisha. Now, thereupon, Indra now threw a destructive iron club and hurled it at Indra, with his left arm. Right arm is gone. Left arm he threw. Now what happened? Indra Saduvritrasya parikam karam cha karabhopamam chicheda yugavat devyo vajrena shataparshana. Indra with this thunderbolt cut not only that weapon but Indra Salavitra's other arm also. The left arm also gone. Now what happened? Daurbha mulabhyam amau ratrasravo suraha Chinnapaksho yatha gotraha khat brashto vajrina hataha. Asura with both his arms cut at their base and bleeding profusely, looked like a mountain, hurled down after his wings were cut. Kritvadharam hanam bhumau detyo divyuttaram hanum nabho gabhira vaktrena lelihol bhadajihvaya lamshtrapi kala kalpavi grasanniva jagatrayam adimatra mahakaya akshipam starasa kirim Kirirat padachariva padbhyam nirjarayan mahim jagrasa samasadhya vajrinam sahavahanam mahaprano mahaviryo mahasarpa ivadvipade ivam vritragrastam tamalaksha saprajapatayasura ha kashtamidi nirvishna shukshuhu samaharshaya. So what happened this time? Both hands gone. Now what Vritrasura do? He advanced towards Indra with the mouth open, wide open like a gufa. And then, without Indra realizing it, he swallowed Indra and the Airavata, both in his mouth, through his mouth, gone to the stomach. Now immediately all the people watching, ha ha, now what will happen? Like a python swallowing the elephant, like that. Prajapatis, Maharshi, Devas, raised hue and cry, remained stunned with sorrow. Even though Vritrasura swallowed Indra, but he did not die. One reason is he was protected by the Narayana Kavacham. Plus Indra had his own power. So he was not killed. Vitva vajrena takkushim nishkramya balamit vipuho Uchakartak shirashatror girishingam ivaujasa. Now what happened from inside the stomach? This Indra cut the stomach through Vajrayuda and came out. After coming out, he cut the head of Vritrasura also. Because he didn't know even after cutting the stomach he will still do something. So before that, he cut his head also. And it seems the thunderbolt weapon went round and round his neck for 1 year. That much time it took for him to cut. Yeah. Cutting take time, no? Because this Uttarasurara Prarabdha also has to go, no? So they were waiting for the time. Unless the time comes, he cannot be killed. So it kept on wriggling around, running around, rolling around the neck for 1 year. Afterwards, when he was finally killed, everybody rejoiced. Now, there ends that chapter. Now go to the 13th chapter. Sri Shuka Uvacha Vritre hate triyoloka vina shakrena bhurida sapala hyabhavat sadyo vijvara nirvadendriyaha. See, Vritre hate triyoloka vina shakrena bhurida. The whole world rejoiced the death of Vritrasura, but not Indra. Why? Oh, this is surprising. Indra was not happy, it seems. Why? I told you that all the devatas, etc., rishis, pitras, bhutas, asuras, gandharvas, everybody went back to their own place. Devarshir pitrabhutani daitya devaguna devanujasayam pratiyakmus sudishnani brahmeshe indradayastataha. So even Brahma, Parameshwara, Indra returned to their respective abodes. Now Raja Parishit is asking, Indrasya nirvridehetum shrudumichchami bho mune yenasan sukhino deva hare dukkam kuto bhavate. I am desirous of knowing why Indra failed to be happy, while all other celestials were happy. Why was Indra alone unhappy? Indra Sukha says, Vritra vikrama samvigna sarve deva saharshinihi tadvad ayarthayan nidram naichat bito brihat akhat. Brihat akhat. Because he was scared of Brahmahatya Papa. Because one time he did, that Papa was shared by 4 people, but now second time, nobody there to share with him. He was worried, what will happen to me? Stri Bhujala Drumaireno Vishwarupa Vathodbhavam Vibhaktam Anugrannidbhir Vrtahatyam Kwa Marjaha. So Indra said, this last time, in order to help me, women, earth, water, trees divided the Brahmahatya Papam. But now, who will take this Brahmahatya Papam? That's why he was afraid, even though he killed. Sri Sukha said, Rarayat upakarnya Mahendra midam adbruvad Yajayishyama bhadram de hayameke namasma. Why? Don't worry. Listening to this words of Indra, the Rishi said, don't worry. We will perform, what is that? Hayamethena, Ashwamedha Yaga. Will perform Ashwamedha Yaga and purify you. Brahmahatya Papam will not touch you. But Indra was not happy with that. Why? They said, by chanting whose name? Brahmaha Pitraha Gogno Madraha Charya Hakavan Swada Pulkasako Vapi Shuddheran Yasya Kirtanad. This is the 8th verse. Okay. chanting whose name and excellence even killers of holy men, cows, father, mother, teacher, also those who eat dog's flesh are most degenerate are purified. So Bhagavad Nama has got this power. Why are you worried? We will purify you. Don't worry. But Shuga, prompted by this, Indra killed Vritrasura. But then what happened? The 11th verse, it is said, Tayendra smahadattapam nirvritirnam upavishade hrimandam vachyatam praptam sukayendya vino guna. This Brahmahatya prabham overtook all that. Did not stop immediately, it followed him. He saw Brahmahatya following him in the form of an old shivering outcast woman, infected with disease and wearing a blood-stained cloth. She had grey, disheveled hair. She was polluting the air everywhere with her breath, emitting the smell of rotten flesh. She followed Indra, calling out to him to stop. Now what happened? Indra had to run away. Nabho gado dishasarva, 14th verse. Sahasraksho vishamyate pragudijim disham turnam pravishto nirvamanasam. The 100-eyed Indra rushed through the sky and all quarters to escape from her. At last, he went to the northern direction and took shelter in Manas Sarovar. There also, thinking about Sa avasat pushkara nala tantula dabdha bhogo yadihakni dutaha varshani sahasram alakshidontaha sachindayan brahmavadadbhimoksham. He, because of his yogic power, he stirred in the stem, inside the stem of the lotus flower, and meditated upon Lord. Sahasrvarsham, Sahasram, Alakshidonta, Varshani, Sahasram, 1,000 years he meditated. So, then what happened, you know the story. During the time Indra was absent from Indraloka, so they made Nahusha the king of heaven. Then fall of Nahusha also, you know, that story is famous. Nahusha saw Indrani. He said, hey, whatever Indra enjoyed, I should also enjoy. But he approached, hey, you are also belong to me. And Indrani was confused what to do now. So she went and asked her husband what to do. This is a problem now. And he advised her, do this. You are on a vrata 14 days. After 14 days only, you can come to me. So, Ausha was very happy. Okay, 14 days I can wait. And 14 days over, then another condition. What is that? Our old Indra, he used to come on a palanquin carried by Saptarshis. So, it's okay, no problem. Infatuated he is, he did not even think the consequences. And among Saptarshis, the Saptarshis also change according to Manvantaras. That story will come, Manvantara will come later. That time we'll see. Different set of Saptarshis. So this particular time, Saptarshis, one of them were Agastya. Agastya was short. So when you are carrying palanquin, the same height should be there. Because Agastya was short, he was moving slow. He was not able to keep up with others. This person was anxious to reach Indrani. So he said, Sarpa, Sarpa, go fast, fast. And not only that, he kicked the Agastya Rishi also. He got angry, looked at him, Sarpa, Sarpa, oh, okay, may you become a Sarpa. That is how he became a serpent. So, after so many years of tapas, Indra was purified, he came back, all the rishis performed Ashwamedha Yaga and again purified him, installed him as the king of heaven. Thus end that 13th chapter. Now, Parikshit Uvacha Rajastamas Svabhavasya Brahman Vritrasya Patmanaha Narayane Bhagavati Kakhamasi Dridasati Dridamatihi. Now his question is very valid, natural. What is that? How did this Vritra, whose nature was rooted in Rajas and Tamas, who was very sinful, obtain such firm devotion for the worshipful of Narayana? Even the Devas, who are endowed with the quality of Sattva, and in great rishis who have attained purity of mind, this kind of unalloyed devotion is not found. Rajobis sama samkhyataha parthivairiha jandavaha tesham ye kechane hante shreyo vai manujadayaha. So, living beings are countless in this world like grains of sand. Among them all, in the human species, there are only a few here and there who aspire the strive for spiritual fulfillment. Manishyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatasiddhaye tatapa visiddhanam kaschit maham veti tattvadaha. Among thousands, how many are there? Bharat is supposed to be a spiritual country. How many of them are really thinking about read Gita, heard the word Gita? Very few. Among those spiritual practitioners, a few want mukti. So, said, we have great doubt. Please enlighten me. Now you can see the flashback of Vritarasura. Like a movie, you know. These are all not soap opera. These are all real stories, okay? Chitraketu's, this Vritarasura was a Chitraketu. So, Sri Sugavacha. Ninth one. Shrunvavahito rajan itihasamimam yatha shrutam daipayana mukhat aradat devaladapi asit raja sarvabhaumaha shuraseneshu vai nirpa chitraketuriti khyado yasyasit kamakumahi. Listen, O king, which I heard from Vedavyasa, Narada and Devala. This story I heard from Shukamaharshi says. Vedavyasa, his father, Narada, Devala. In the land of Surasena, near Mathura, not Madurai, Mathura, north. Mathura, Gokula, right? Vrindavan, Mathura. Vrindavan, Mathura. So near Mathura, Surasena land, there was a famous emperor named Chitraketu. In whose region the earth yielded all the requirements of man. Now look at this. Tasya bharya sahasrani deshabhavan santani kasyapi nirpo na lebhe tasu santatim. The king had many wives, but every one of them were barren. And the king was therefore without any issue. Rupaudaryabayo janma vidyaishcharyashya dibihi sampannasya gunai sarve chinta vandhyapatarera bhoot. Though possessed of all desirable endowment like beauty, generosity, youth, high birth, learning, lordliness, wealth, he was very much worried over his wives being barren and he without an issue. Nadasya sambadas sarva mahishyo Vamalojanaha sarvabhaumasya bhuchayam abhavan pritihedavaha. Neither wealth, nor his numerous beautiful wives, nor his vast empire could give him happiness because of no children. Then what happened? Tas aikatadu bhavanam angira bhagavan rishihi lokan anujaran netan upagachat yadrichaya. Once this worshipful rishi Angiras happened to arrive at the king's place, during the course of his Deshadanam pilgrim, all over the world he was going around. On the way he came to this Raja also. Now when he saw his Guru Angiras received him, offered him all worshipful offering, and having seated comfortably, then the Raja said, look, this is my problem. Maharshitapapasinam prashrayavaratam chidau prashrayavaratam chidau pratipujya maharaja samabhashyedam abraveed. He sat near. I mean, even when a rishi like Angiras come, even though he is a Raja, the custom in our culture is he has to get up from his own throne and make him sit on the throne and worship him. And he should sit down. So that is what is said here. Now, Angirashi said, Angira uvacha apitenāmayam susti prakritīnām tadatmana yadhā prakritibhir guptaha puman rajapi saptabhihi atmanam prakritistudhva nidhāya shreya apnuyāt rajñā tadhā prakritayo naradevahidādaya. I hope yourself and your subjects are healthy and happy. Just as man is protected by a defensive wall of 7 aspects of Prakriti, Mahatattva, Ahankara, 5 Tanmatras, so also king's defense consists of the 7 constituents of state: Guru, minister, village, fortress, treasury, machinery of enforcement, and allies. Now Chitraketu, listening to this, he said, everything is fine, sir. But I have a problem. Chitraketu said, 23rd. Bhagavan kim na vididam tapojnana samadhibihi yoginam dustavapanam bhirandasya tathapi pricchato yuyam brahmanatmani chinditam bhavato vidushaschapi jyotidastotanutneya lokapalairiviprarthya sambrajyaishcharya sambadaha na nandayandya prajam mam kshutrut kama vipavaro tatappahi mahabhaga purvai sahagatam tamaha yathatareva dustaram prajaya tatvidehi vasanaha. So, Chitraketu says, you know the mind of all. Yet, since you have now put the question, I shall give out the cause of my worry. Even though enjoying the power and plenty of an emperor, unattainable even by the world's overlords, none of this pleases me who am eager for an issue. Just as a man hungry and thirsty is not satisfied with anything but food and drink. O Lord, being issueless, I, along with my ancestors, will be consigned to hell. By helping us to have an issue, please save us from this fate. Now, Angiras, what he did was, so Shuka says, Ittarthidassa Bhagavan Kripalur Brahmanas Sudaha Shopayitva Charum Twashtram Twashtaram Ayat Vibhu. The learned, merciful, and knowing, all-knowing Angiras, the son of Brahmaji, made the king prepare some sacrificial food offering and perform a sacrifice to Toshta. Now, Jeshta Chayaratnyo Maharshina Mahishinam cha Bharata Namna Kadatyudistasya Yajñochishtamadad Dvijaha. Maharshi gave the sacrificial remnant, Yajna Uchishtaha, the prasadam, to the seniormost of the king's wife named Kritatyuti to eat. Then he said, Athaha nrupatim rajan bhavidegastavatmajaha harshajoga pradastubhyam idi brahmasudo yayau. Then he told Rajan, you will have a son. He will be both give you joy and sorrow. Children are like that, isn't it? Give joy and sorrow both. Then, in time, she got pregnant with a child, and afterwards she delivered, to tell the story shortly. And when the child was born, naturally the king was jubilant, happy, and all these rituals were done, Jata Karma, etc. The king was overjoyed. He distributed gold, jewels, etc., cows to Brahmanas. And Kritatyuti, that is the queen, mother, he developed so much attachment to not only the child, the mother also. What happened? He started living there only, because of the affection to the child and the mother who gave him the child. Now what happened in the meantime? The other wives are there, the co-wives. What they did, ta paryatapyannatmanam, 39. Garhayatyobhyasuyaya manapattena dukkhena rajnyo adarane cha dik prajam konu santapaha swamina paricharyaya abhikshnam labdhamananam dasya dasiva durbhagaha. Now those cow-wives suffered intensely from the combined effect of their envy towards the queen, their inferiority complex, their childlessness, and the king's neglect of them. They set fie on those women who is childless, unfortunate, devoid of her husband's confidence, and looked down upon as a maidservant by her co-wife who has become a mother. So they felt they are all treated like servants. Even maid servants, they get appreciation from their master again and again for doing a good job. But for us, even that is not there. Unfortunate being who are like maid servant of a maid servant. That is their problem now. Dasya dasiva durbhagaha. Abhishnam labdhamananam dasya dasiva durbhagaha. 41. Servant of the servant. Now, what is the result of that? Evam sandahyamananam sapatnya putra sambada rajnyo sammadavrittinam vidvesho balavan abhut. Great was the fire of anger and jealousy generated in them, looking at the queen and the child. And the more the king neglected them, more their anger increased. Vidvesha nashtamanaya mataya striyo dharuna chetasaha geram dadu kumaraya durmarsha rupatim prati. Now they decided among themselves, we should poison the child. Think about it. Kridatyujiranandi sapatni namakam mahad suptaye vedi sanjitya niriksha vicharat grihe. Now this queen, unaware of the wicked plan of the co-wives, was under the impression that the child was sleeping and kept herself busy with the domestic work. But they poisoned the child, was not moving. She thought that child is sleeping. Then, Shayanam Sujiram Balam Upadarya Manishani Putramanasya me Bhadre iti Dhatri Machodayat Sa Shayanam Upavrajya Drishtva Chotaralojanam Pranendriyatma Bhirtyaktam Hatasni Tyapayat Apatat Bhuvi. But later, she felt that the child was sleeping too long. And so called her maid to bring the child. On approaching the child on its bed, the maid was shocked to see the infant with pupil turn up and its vital forces, senses, mind not functioning. She fell down screaming, "Alas! Dead, मैं मर गया, dead I am." Now hearing the tasyastadakarnya prishaduram swaram khartya gnatyakarambhamura uchchakairavi pravisyaratni tvarayatmajantikam dadarshabalam sahasamritam sutam. Now listening to this loud, piteous cries of the woman, the queen went to her side with a shock to see her child most unexpectedly lying dead. Immediately she fell down and sobbed out of overwhelming grief. And hearing the cry, all other women also came, as though, they didn't know. What happened? What happened? Those people who are responsible for this, they also shed crocodile tears and joined the party of mourners. Now hearing this news, stunned to uncontrollable grief on hearing about the most unexpected and inexplicable death of his beloved son, he came running to the spot, often running, stumbling, falling down, etc. Now think about the condition of the Raja. After a long time, he was blessed with a child. And when he could not even enjoy the child properly, he was only 8 months, yes. The child died. So he started crying, weeping, along with his wife. Now, seeing the condition of this Raja, crying loudly, forgetting that he's a king, he's a Raja, neglected the kingdom, what is happening there, he didn't bother. He was in the mourning state. Seeing the condition of Raja, the Angiras and Narada both came to console him. Naturally, Sri Shukavacha, the 15th chapter. Uchadur mridakopante patitam mridakopamam Shoghabhivudam rajanam odayando satuktibihi. Instructing the king who was lying like a dead body along the dead body of the child. He was also lying down like a dead body, king. To that Raja, Angira spoke to him. Oyam syat tava Rajendra bhavan yamanushochati tum chasya katamas srishtau vredani mataparam yatha prayanti samyanti sroto vegena baluga samyuchyante viyuchyante tatha kalena dehinaha. Now, whatever advice you gave, he says, O king, he for whom you are mourning, what is he to you? In this flux of creation, how are you related to the dead child in the previous birth? And what is to be relation in future birth? This birth, you are related to this child, you call yourself as a father. But last birth, what was he? You don't know. After death, what will happen? That also you don't know. So why are you crying for it? See, Rajan, the body only changes, the soul remains. The death is only to the body, but not to the soul. You know, when a person is in sorrowful like this, whatever advice you give, it doesn't work. In fact, you should not give any advice at that time. You sit down and cry with him. Then he'll feel happy. That's why they say, these people, celebration of death. They call you for talking few minutes. Please give a few minutes talk. What can you talk? Whatever you talk is useless. Nobody listens. But anyway, so then Angiras said, I am that Angiras who helped you to get this child. At that time itself I told you, the child will give you happiness and sorrow both. Then he said, this is the all-knowing and worshipful sage Narada. We have arrived there thinking of you and to bless you, who are now submerged in grief arising from the loss of a son. Even when I visited you earlier, I wanted to impart knowledge to you. But finding that you are then more intent on having the issue, I help you to get one. You have now understood that kind of sorrow that people with children are likely to suffer. So all other kinds of worldly relationships, whether they be related to wife, house, wealth, power, object of enjoyment, land, kingdom, army, treasury, servant, minister, are causes of sorrow. They are fleeting phenomena like a castle in the air. Okay, then what happened? Therefore, meditate on the 26th verse. Tasmas susthena manasa vivrshya gadim atmanaha dvede dhruvartha vishrabham tejopashamamavisha. Therefore, meditate on the Atman with a peaceful mind. Man is crying for a child. That time what? Meditate. What? Who is going to listen to that? And get rid of the idea of permanency you have in regard to the world of duality. Understand the world is mithya. It has no reality. You think that will work? Now Naradaji said, Esham mandropanishadam pradiccha prayato mama yam dharayan saptaratra drashta sankarshanam prabhum. Then he said, Narada said, receive from me with single-pointed mind the mantra that I shall impart to you. It brings about the highest good of man and gives the experience of Sankarshana to those who meditate on it with concentration for a week. Within a week, you will have the darshan of Sankarshana if you chant this particular mantra and meditate. Then 28th, Yat Padamoolam Upasatya Narendra Purve Sarvadayo Brahmamimam Chitayam Visarjya Sadyastadiya Madulanathigam Mahitvam Prapurbhavanapi Param Najiraduvaiti. O king, it was by taking refuge at his feet that a great one like Parameshwara got over the ignorance bond, identification with the body, and attained to that state of spiritual power and glory. That is, you too will attain to it if you worship him with a devout heart. Now comes the interesting part. Still, Chitraketu was not consoled. So, what Sukha Maharshi says, Adha Devarishi Rajan Samparetan Nrpatmajam Darshayitvedi Hovacha Jnatinam Anushochatam. Next Devarshi, Narada, due to his yogic powers, he showed the subtle body of the dead child to the sorrowing parents and said to it, what did he say? Narada said, Jivatman Pasya Bhadram te Madaram Pitaram Chate Suhurdo Bandhavastapta Shucha Tvat Kritaya Prisham Kalevaram Samavishya Sheshamayu Suhrit Vrataha Bhunksha Bhogan Pitarprattan Aditishta Dharvasanam. He invoked the Jiva who departed from the body and addressed that Jiva, see you not, you are now, please see your father and mother and other relatives sorrowing for you. Assume your previous body, come back to the body, enter the body, spend the rest of your life in enjoyment provided by your father. Wonderful, eh? Now what happened? So assume your previous body, succeed to the throne, surrounded by your relatives, spend the rest of your life in enjoyment provided by your father. Now Jiva said, this is very important. Kasmin janmanyami mahyam pitaro mataro bhavan sarvabhir bhramyamanasya devatiryang ryonishu. The Jiva says, I have been going from birth to death in the transmigratory cycle among devas, animals and men according to my karma. In which birth of mine have these been my father and mother? In one of the birth of mine, these people became my mother and father. Bahut bandhutnyatarimadhyasta itrodasinat vidvishaha sarvayevahi sarvesham bhavanti kramasho mithaha. In the succession of birth, anyone might have been anyone's relative or enemy, unrelated to neighbor, protector or stranger. And the seventh mantra, he says, Nityasyartasya sambandho anityo drishyate nupu yavat yasya hi sambandho mamatvam tavadeva hi. Relationship even with any living object, say with one's domestic animal, is found to be impermanent. So long as anything is considered one's own, there is relationship. When one's domestic animals are old, we do not look upon them as ours anymore. Is that true? Dog in America. They become old, you don't think it is yours, no? Still they hug and all that. Then he says, Evam yonigato jiva sanityo nirhankrataha yavat yatropalabhyeta tavat swatvam hi tasya tat. Even in the embodied state, the jiva is the eternal and non-egoistic spirit. He has a continuous existence even after death, but has no continuous identification with its previous embodiment or is associated of or his association with the birth. Only as long as the jiva, a particular state of existence due to his karma. Ninth verse. Esha nityo vyaya sukshma esha sarvashraya sudrika Atma Maya Guner Vishwam Atmanam Sujati Prabhu. In his real nature, the jiva is part of Ishvara, who is eternal, undecaying, subtle, and self-certifying assurance. So none can say it is my own, this is his, this is mine, you cannot claim. And this soul is free, not related to anyone. And he says, finally I am free. Why you want me to come back? To suffer. Sukamaharshi said, Ityudirjagato jivo jnatayastasya te tada Vismita mujushogam chitvatma sneha sringalam. Saying this, jiva of the dead child departed. Then all its relatives were astounded. And they became free from grief because they understood what is the point. Then they cremated the body of the child, performed the last rites. They somehow managed to detach, succeeded in abandoning attachment, which is the prime cause of sorrow, infatuation, fear, and worry. Now those cruel women, what happened, who lost their luster because of the sin, became extremely ashamed of themselves remembering the words of the rishis that all worldly entanglements like children are causes of sorrow, they abandoned jealousy and their vicious mind and performed on the banks of Yamuna the rites prescribed by priest as prayachita for their sin. Now, as far as Chitraketu is concerned, what happened? That is the 15th verse. Sa itham pratibuddhatma Chitraketu dijuktibihi Grihandagopan nishkrandaha sarapangadivadyupaha. As far as Chitraketu is concerned, the spiritual consciousness or spiritual awakening came to him because of the words of the rishis, Mahatmas. So he emerged from the dark well of household life to the light of consciousness. He took a bath and renounced the kingdom. He took a bath in Yamuna, performed the rites for the Pitras, controlled the senses through concentration of Supreme Lord, and prostrated himself before the body. Holy sages. So he performed the rites and controlled the senses through concentration and prostrated himself before the sages, Angiras and Narada. Now pleased with the devout king, the sage Narada communicated to him the following meditation. Meditation on Sankarshana is there. That is from 18th verse to 25th verse. This is the meditation verses. Om Namastupyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Aniruddhaya Namas Sankarshanaaya Cha Namo Vijnana Matraya Paramananda Murtaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Nivrittatvaiddhishtaye Atmanandana Bhutteva Nesta Shakyurmaye Namaha Shri Keshaya Mahate Namaste Vishwamurtaye Vachasyuparate Prapya Yaego Varasasaha Anamarupashin Matraha Sovyanna Sadasatparaha Isminidam Yadaschedam Tishtas Japedi Jayate Num Mrishmane Mranmayeshviva Mrjadistastasmai te Brahmane Namaha Yennasprishatina Vidhur Manobuddhindriyas Yasavaha Andarbahitya Vitatam Vyomavattannatosmiham Dehendriya Pranamanodhiyomi Yadam Shavidva Pracharanti Karmaso Naivanyata Lohamiva Prataptam Sthaneshu Tat Drishtapashe Samedi Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahanubhavaya Mahavibhudipataye Sakala Sattvata Parivrita Nikara Kara Kala Kunguma Lopa Lalita Charanaravinda Yugala Parama Parameshtin Namaste. Wow, beautiful. This is the mantra. So this Chitraketu chanted this mantra, meditated upon Sankarshana Bhagavan, withdrawing himself from the worldly entanglement, concentrating single-pointedly. Then what happened? We'll see later. Sankarshana Bhagavan appeared before him and blessed him. In 7 days' time, okay. That's a beauty. Now the question is, he was blessed by Sankarshana Bhagavan. How did he become Rakshasa? That is another story. We'll come to that next class, okay? Suspense, little bit. How did Chitraketu become Vritarasura? That also an interesting story. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om. No class next week. Huh? Next week, no class. Next week you have class. Yeah. You have Swamiji here, right? You will be happy. Kannada Swami is coming. Kannada Swami. Yeah. Yeah, he was teaching in